I'm Tim Ward. I've been a student of Gary Jacobs for the past 12 years. And there's three things that I'd like to say that I've learned from working with him that are really going to stay with me through my life. The first is I'm a professional teacher. I run training programs, and it's very important for me to always stay in the mind of my students when I'm a teacher. And being in Gary's class, I feel always I am a beginner. I'm always learning something new. I'm always being challenged to do things that really force me to be in the moment, pay attention, and just give everything I've got to doing the best that I can. Gary comes to every single class I've ever done so prepared with something new, with something interesting, with a new angle. He, like to me, is some sort of mad scientist of improv who's always pushing us to get the most out of us, to get us to be our most creative, our most spontaneous selves. And so for me, it's just a regular experience of being in beginner's mind, of always being challenged and always being out of my comfort zone. And as a teacher, I really value that experience because that's what I expect of my students when I'm running a training program. Second, Gary has really taught me how important it is in your life to have a place that is entirely for fun. You know, almost everything we do in life, when we're young, it's building our careers. When it's in our midlife, it's raising our kids. When it's later, it's saving for retirement. There always seems to be a purpose for which we're doing things. Even fitness, right? We're staying healthy, we're staying young, we're trying to stay buff. There's like a purpose that we do other stuff for. But with improv, Gary's Basement, the only reason you're doing it is for the fun of it, for the art of it, for in the moment just to make it alive and happening. And that's like a rare space for me. And I recall a line from one of my favorite movies, Main Street, where one of the characters is saying to the other, who is the head of an amateur theater group, says, "Entertainment is what other people do that you watch, but fun is what you make yourself." And boy, we make fun in Gary's classes. And that's such a great part of my life. And the third thing is, I found so much of what Gary teaches in his classes has affected the rest of my life and carries over. And I'll just say one thing, the most basic thing one learns in improv: yes and. And you do that in a scene and it comes alive. If you do that in your life, it can also really create big changes. Learning to say yes to life and then saying add and building something on what somebody else has said or offering something of yourself. It's such an amazing way to live. It moves the energy of life forward as opposed to creating arguments, creating conflict where you get stuck. Yes and is just, adding a brick to what someone else has said and done and moving things forward, building something and creating something together. And that sense of building things together, creating something from nothing, is something that I've been practicing all the time in Gary's classes. And I guess the final thing that I'd like to say is um, improv gives a real sense of community. The people that I've worked with for years and years and years, I kind of feel like I've lived my lives with them, lived dozens, hundreds of different lives. I've been their brothers, their fathers, their best friends. I've murdered them, they've murdered me, we've saved each other's lives dozens and dozens of times. So I feel like I have these rich alternate universes that have been created in Gary's classes, and they've just made my life so incredibly rich. Thank you, Gary Jacobs.